Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. If I can get my T-shirt right here. It's finished. Atletico Madrid 3, Real Madrid 1. Atletico Madrid taking derby honors. And I mean, let's be honest here. I think it has been a tough week for Atletico Madrid. I mean, they lost 3-0 to Valencia, where they were completely obliterated in that game. They went to Lazio in midweek. The leading 1-0 up until the last minute, and then a goalkeeper steps up and scores a goal and gets the equalizer. So as bad as it could have been, it was. And you really thought today, okay, well, what's it going to be like? Because Real Madrid haven't played well this season, but they've always found a way to get the results. They've always found a way to grind through results. And they came into this game. I think there was a bit of complacency in Real Madrid's play today. In this not play, but in terms of the team selection, I think there was a bit of complacency. But Atletico Madrid, credit to them because they got their tactics spot on. I think Simeone, everything that he did, he understood exactly how he wanted to attack Real Madrid, and he got it spot on. And Real Madrid helped them out because I thought Carlo Ancelotti, where Simeone got everything right, I think Carlo Ancelotti got everything wrong. Because I've been saying this since last season. In 2023, in an away Madrid derby, you do not start Modric and Kroos. Yes, they are great players, have been phenomenal servants for the club, but they do not start together unless they were down 2-0 and then they wanted to make a change. Yes, but starting the game, it should never have been Luka Modric, it should never have been Toni Kroos together. I don't know what is going on in Carlo Ancelotti's mind, and sometimes I feel it's not even overthinking. I think sometimes he believes too much in his own abilities to coach players and to kind of go, because I think he's someone who's often said that he doesn't believe in tactics. He just puts players out and then they figure it out. But you don't do that. You can't expect two players of that of that age and that physical ability to go into a game like this where it's going to be physical, it's going to be energetic, it's going to be tough, and to put those two midfield players together in midfield, it just completely kills the balance of that midfield completely, because it means that Camavinga and in this case Valverde, they have to do so much work to compensate for that. Now, I'm not saying that playing those two together was the reason for the loss, because Toni Kroos even scored a goal. I don't think Modric had a good game anyway, and he got taken off at halftime. But it's just the amount of pressure that it puts on the other 9 players when you play those two together. It's just unnecessary. And in a Madrid derby, in a derby game, in one of the most intense derbies in the world, you don't have to make those kind of decisions, because they had Tchouaméni on the bench. And they should have used him. I don't know what was going on through Carlo Ancelotti's mind. And he paid for that. And the other part, of course, is the issue. And the other issue with this is because they're playing a diamond. They're playing a 4-1-2-1-2. By definition, even if you were to play it at 4-2-3-1, you would not want to play those two together. But in a 4-1-2-1-2 diamond, you can't afford to play those two together anyway, because immediately, the key in a 4-1-2-1-2, for anybody who understands this, is the two central midfielders that are basically wide midfielders, central midfield hybrids. Basically, you've got a number 10 and you've got a CDM, and they will do their job. But the other two have to go wide and they've got to go in. So they've got to go forward. They've actually got to go, in three directions, because they're going front, they're going back, they're going sideways. Right? So they want to look at 3 different directions. And the moment you so therefore you put in maybe another central midfielder. If you put in one more central midfielder, you allow yourself to have that sort of luxury of you basically give yourself 3 high energy midfielders. What happens when you play Modric and Kroos is you've got only 2 midfielders. You've already put yourself in a problem with 2 midfielders who can't really do the 3 directions. They can probably, or can't do it at the pace that they used to. So you've already created yourself a problem. The other issue was playing Fede Valverde. Actually, they played 5 midfielders, because they also played Fede Valverde. And I had no idea what kind of formation they were playing. I think, Modric played as a false 9 to begin with, for whatever reason. And so it meant that Bellingham got shunted out wide. It was a 4-3-3 false 9, where Bellingham got shunted out wide for whatever reason. I think, I believe it was a 4-1-2-1-2 with Bellingham and Rodrygo as your front 2. That is a mistake right away, because immediately, you don't have a focal point in your attack. Because Rodrygo is not a focal point, and Bellingham can't be, and Bellingham's not fast enough. He's a very shrewd operator, and he can find space and passes, and he can run with the ball, but he's not a fast player. So immediately you've killed yourself. I have no idea what Ancelotti was thinking with the tactics, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, even I'm trying to come up with what exactly was going on on that field, because there's no cohesion. Like, was Modric the number 10? Probably was, for number 10 false 9, whatever. And if it was a 4-3-3 false 9, he was playing as a number 10, which means Bellingham was playing as a right winger, which makes absolutely no sense. If you're playing a 4-1-2-1-2, why are you playing Modric and Kroos as your number 10 in your CDM? And then why are you playing Bellingham as a striker when you've got Joselu on the bench? It's just weird. It was just weird tactics that Ancelotti had. And all 3 goals, what were they? Crosses into the box, header from Morata. First one, Lino comes in, puts a cross, because Bellingham is playing wide, but he's not a wide player. He's a number 10 who's asked to play wide. his instinct would be to always cut inside. So he wasn't going to provide the fullback with any kind of support. Valverde was supposed to provide the fullback with support, but the problem for Valverde is he's also got to go forward and backward. And because Toni Kroos is a CDM, he's supposed to be the one who's got to, cover for Valverde if he's out of position. But he can't do it because he's not got the physicality or the pace to do it, energy to do it anymore. So he can't do it. And it just put the whole the system in whack, and especially on the right hand side, it was just weird because Lino gets a completely free run. He goes past players. He puts the ball in the box. Alaba is nowhere to be found. He just loses Morata. I thought Alaba could have done better, and he just loses Morata. Gets a free header. It's a goal. Second goal, same thing as this time. Is Saul again gets past his fullback, puts a cross in. Griezmann has a free header, makes it 2-0. And then the third goal, same thing again. Cross comes in, again from Saul. Cross again comes in from Saul Niguez. Morata is there right at the halftime. In fact, when they just made a change to bring on Hermoso, and it was interesting to see what was going to happen. They concede a goal. It's 3-1. It's 3-1. The one goal that Madrid did score was probably the goal of the game because it was so well taken. But don't take that away from the fact that the simplicity of Atletico Madrid's goals were beautiful, but the strike from Kroos was magnificent, and he made it 3-1. But it was a consolation at the end of the day. And I think it's telling that a lot of Madrid's big chances weren't actually in the penalty area. It was shots from outside the box that kind of whizzed past the goal or whatever. They were long range shots. Not necessarily close range chances. And that tells you a lot about how well Atletico Madrid defended today, how well they understood the game. The only criticism that I will have of Atletico Madrid is once again, when they went 2-0 up, they started defending deep in the 25th, 30th minute. They start defending deep, which I don't know why they do that. Like, I don't know why Simeone is so insistent on protecting 1-0s and 2-0s. And so just, you go for the throat, you get a third goal, you get a fourth goal, you kill the game off, and then you do whatever you want. But for some reason, as Simeone, I don't know if Simeone doesn't trust his attack to score more than 2-3 goals in a game, and says, after 2 goals down, let's just defend and counter. But whatever it is, that that invited pressure. I think going 2-0 up and then trying to defend deep like it was the 80th minute of the game, it just invited more pressure, and that allowed Madrid more chances. It's not like Madrid didn't create chances; they created chances, not always clear cut chances. They had good chances. It's just without the focal point. The problem is those chances were not clear. They were not guaranteed chances where you're right close to goal in a shooting. And the goalkeeper makes a good save, or it's like off target, it's like a glaring miss. They were all long range shots which looked good, but they weren't necessarily chances. They were half chances. Let's be honest. They were speculative shots and all of that stuff. So they were not as clear cut as Atletico Madrid's 3 goals, and that would have been the concern for Real Madrid. But like I said, Ancelotti lost it with his team selections today. Brahim Diaz came on and looked good. I don't know why he doesn't get more opportunities. I'm not going to go too hard on Fran Garcia. I know some people might go in on him. Fran Garcia, I don't think he had a bad. He's just someone who's young and who's going to learn his training. He's going to have these kind of games. You've got to give him that confidence to be able to say, right, it's okay that you made a mistake, but we're still going to put faith in you, because Monty cannot stay fit for a season. So Garcia has got to, step up and take his spot. So you've got to give him that confidence. So I'm not going to go in on him. He didn't have the best of games, but none of the goals came from his side. So that's something to say. Lucas Vazquez, all 3 goals coming from his side. I'm not going to go in on the fullback because he had absolutely zero support from either the midfield or the wingers. There was no support for him, which is understandable because of what was happening. So I'm again not going to go in on him either. The player that I am going to go in on is David Alaba, because Alaba, for me, he was at fault for the first goal. He completely loses Morata. And then on the third goal as well, he was at fault for it as well. Now, maybe you might disagree with me, so put that in the comments. But I thought he was at fault for the third goal because it's a striker's goal. It's not a midfielder that's making a run from deep who's scoring. It's the striker that is scoring. And if the opposition striker is scoring a headed goal, that's on the defender to protect. That's not on Camavinga. That's not Camavinga's. Camavinga's job is to track runs from deep of midfielders or number 10s who are making a run into the box. His job is not to track Morata's run. Now, yes, he could have done better on tracking that run, but it is not necessarily his first priority. His priority is not to mark Morata. That is Alaba's job. And Alaba's kind of just gone, at Camavinga saying, oh, you should have, picked him up. You're the reason for that. And I don't know what it was. And of course, Alaba is a senior player. Camavinga is not, so you probably can't say anything to him. But if I was any other senior player, I'd probably go to Alaba and say, this is your fault. It's a striker's goal. It's not a midfielder that has scored. It's your job to pick him up. You're the one who's marking. You're not supposed, when a cross comes in, if it's a corner, that's a different matter. But because it's a cross into the box, it is Alaba's job as a defender to mark the striker, not marking space, right? And having seen that, Ancelotti takes Camavinga off. He takes Camavinga off. Camavinga, I thought, was the best player for Real Madrid in the first half. He was the only one who really looked like could do something with the ball. And Ancelotti takes him off in the second half. probably because Alaba's had a go at Camavinga and said that it's his fault. When Ancelotti should also know better. You should know that that's Alaba's fault and not Camavinga's. Now it could be not for that reason. It could be that he just took him out because he wanted to change something. But I am inclined to believe that there was something that happened between Alaba and Camavinga, and Ancelotti kind of thought, oh yeah, it's Camavinga's fault, take him off. Which I just think that's stupid. So that's not good from Alaba to be trying to deflect responsibility like that and yelling at another player when it's your job to pick up the marker, to make sure that you're and even if Camavinga is supposed to be marking, right? I mean, the cross is not that, it's not like a very what do you call it, fast-paced cross is just come in and it's a defendable cross. It's a defendable cross that Alaba should be doing better. But Alaba twice he got underneath the cross, and both times it resulted in the goal. And maybe there might be some blame on Camavinga. I'm not saying Camavinga is blameless here, even though it's not his job to mark Morata. But yes, maybe he could have done better at tracking the run. But it's still Alaba's job to he could have cleared that cross. He could have cleared that away. He gets underneath it for whatever reason. And two, it's his job to mark the striker. It's not the midfielder's job. But anyway, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. It's just Madrid today didn't have a good game. I think that's the best way to put it. As it just didn't have a good game. Just didn't look up for it. Didn't look at it. Maybe there was, as I said, maybe there was complacency in the managerial selections. I think Ancelotti sometimes puts too much faith in certain players, and he's very, very reluctant to make changes. And I hope there is something that will change. I have not liked the 4-1-2-1-2 anyway. I don't know if it's a necessity system that Ancelotti is playing because many of his players are injured. But whatever the reason, it's not worked. It hasn't worked, right? They've scraped results. They've been scraping results. It's not like they're scoring a lot of goals. They're still conceding goals. So something's got to change. Something's got to change. I think the first thing that's got to change is he's got to get away from this obsession of Modric and Kroos in big games. He's got to get away from it. I thought he had changed his tack when I saw the first game. I don't know. It was an away game. I think it was Bilbao that they were playing. And he didn't play any of those. And he didn't play Kroos or Modric in that game. And I thought that was impressive because I thought, yeah, that's good. That's a change. But then again, he goes back to it today. Again, he goes back to doing that. And that's going to cost. If Real Madrid are not going to win La Liga this season, if Real Madrid are not going to win the Champions League this season, his obsession with playing Kroos and Modric could play a big role in that. Again, this is early days. I'm not saying they're not going to win La Liga. I'm just saying that if he keeps this up in big games, trying to play Kroos and Modric together, if he keeps this up, it's going to cost him big time somewhere down the line. But anyway, well done to Atletico, though. Fantastic performance. Lino was excellent. I thought he was Samuel Lino. He ran that game on that left-hand side. That's what it was. He just had freedom of that left-hand side. All he had to do was get past Vazquez. And then he had the freedom of that left-hand side. It's just wonderful from him. Morata, man of the match for me. I think some might give it to Lino, but I'll give it to Morata because those two goals were very, very good. Very, very well-headed goals. He's someone who comes has come in for a lot of criticism over the past few years as someone who's, not really a good striker, but still keeps getting big moves. But over the last few months, he has been really, really good. And this season has been very, very good for him. 5 goals for Atletico Madrid, 3 for Spain as well. He's looking sharp. He's looking fit. From Atletico's point of view, I hope he can keep it up. But fantastic performance from him today. I thought Griezmann looked good as well in what he played in Saul Niguez. I don't know what to say about Saul Niguez, right? It's a day when ex-Chelsea players actually did quite well. Chelsea sucked, but Romelu Lukaku scored. You've got Saul Niguez put in a very good performance. Alvaro Morata got 2 goals. It's just weird, isn't it? But I thought Saul played well as well. It's good to see him playing well because he's had a very tough couple of years. Falling out of favor at Atletico, didn't do well at Chelsea at all, but he seems to be getting back to his old rhythm and his old form, so it's good to see that as well. But like I said, Real Madrid really lost the game with their tactics, and then that's something for them to work on ahead of the next one. So, and they're no longer top of the table now. As a consequence, Barcelona will stay top of the league, until the next game day because they lost that game. Anyway, smash a like on this video. If you enjoyed it, smash a like for Atletico Madrid, smash a like for Alvaro Morata if he was your man of the match. If you think somebody else should be man of the match, let me know in the comments, of course. Always love hearing your thoughts. Do remember to share your thoughts in any other games as well. Whatever you might have thought, maybe there's something I missed that you want to point out. Maybe there's something you agree with, something you disagree with. Let me know in the comments, of course. And do subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've done a lot of videos over the weekend, so you can watch them. And there will be more that will come probably over the week. Hopefully, I've got a bit of a cold, so I don't know how many I'll be able to do, but I will try to do more regularly going forward. So do subscribe so you can get notified as they drop. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.